Hi, my name's Priddy. I'm a musician and a music teacher in Annapolis, Maryland. I started guitar when I was 12 years old. Got my guitar and I heard a Rush album and couldn't get me off of it, and started taking lessons when I was about 13 or 14. I got into teaching guitar when I came back to Maryland from touring around, and I really fell in love with watching the progress of my students and knowing that there's like a piece of me and my energy and time that, you know, they'll remember me by, whether it's my corny jokes or something that they remembered, vibrato or tone. Or as far as the school, I felt like going off on my own around 2000 because I just wanted to expand, and working for myself and micromanaging is just kind of the way I do things, and it's fulfilling. We get a variety of students in age and ability, and we take them from beginner, intermediate through advanced, even college auditions. And if you're thinking about learning, no time is better than now because it's hours, not years. Most kids come in owning an instrument by our suggestion because they need something to practice on. We do have loaners for the lesson, but the time that you spend at home practicing what your teacher gives you is when you're going to grow, as long as you listen to your teacher.
Hi, my name's Lucas. I'm 13 years old and I've been playing guitar for 8 years. When I was like 5 years old, my first guitar is a Christmas gift. From then on, I just started taking lessons. After I got my first guitar, my dad started to play more Hendrix and Van Halen in the car, and that just kind of inspired me a little bit to say wow, I really want to do this. Even though I was 5, I kind of grabbed an iPad and I tried to look at tabs to try to learn songs, but that didn't really work. So I had to start lessons at a small music store. I took lessons there for about 3 years. My parents realized I haven't really been learning anything after I got taught the basics, and then they moved me here. And now that I'm here, I'm able to learn new skills and progress. I'm in a couple of bands here at Priddy. I've been playing with a band since I was 8. We'll play at bars and taverns and restaurants, festivals. Playing out live and being in a band has definitely made me new friends, be more comfortable in public speaking situations or being in front of a crowd. I think I'm gonna keep playing guitar, and if music doesn't work out, I'll still keep it as a hobby. I love it.
Hi, I'm James. I'm 16 years old and I've been playing guitar for 11 years. My whole family's been playing music since they were little. Almost every night we used to gather on the piano, and my dad would play and my mom would sing, and sometimes they'd play together. And I think that just really brought music into my life at a young age. It made me really want to start not just listening to music, but performing it. And I wanted to be different, so I started playing guitar because everyone else in my family was playing piano or violin or cello. I got a guitar teacher pretty much right after I wanted to learn. I learned with him until maybe 7th grade, and then I came here to join a band with one of my friends, and I've been in love with it ever since. I really love about playing music is that it really brings people together, especially when you're close with the people you're playing with. You can really lock into a sound together, and I love feeding off the energy of the crowd and just all the movement. You don't really get that when you're listening to music. There's something about just moving around on a stage live, and it's really a magical feeling that you can't recreate anywhere else. A song that I listened to, and I'm sure a lot of young guitarists listen to a lot, was Crazy Train, because it's so gripping, the guitar part. I think I was most enamored by the tapping in the start of the solo because it was a completely foreign technique to me. I tried to learn it with my guitar teacher at the time, and it kind of sizzled out, but when I came here, I picked it up again for a band, and it's now one of my favorite songs to play live. I'm learning a lot of Van Halen songs right now. I'm learning Panama and I'm the One for separate bands, which I really enjoy because they're really difficult, but they're really fun to play, so it doesn't feel like a chore to learn them. It just feels fun. I think you can successfully be self-taught, and I think there's a lot of fantastic success stories, but all of the experience I've gained from having teachers just makes me reflect on how powerful experience it is and how helpful it is to have somebody guide you through all the steps that might have been more difficult for them when they were starting out.
Being a music teacher of 30 years, I've noticed the benefits for students as far as being able to express themselves on an emotional level when it comes to songwriting or improvising. Also helps build confidence. Once you get advanced enough to work with other people, then you can also feel a sense of teamwork and be inspired by the other people that you work with, and you want to keep up with them and you don't want to let them down. It helps build a dedication, I believe, and a discipline. And I believe that the aptitude really comes from the desire and being inspired.
What makes a guitar nice is, having like all of the different pickups and like many different sounds to choose from. And then like the split with this is also super nice because it can sound like a bunch of different guitars, and I don't have to like go out and spend a bunch of money on a bunch of different ones just to get different sounds. Just having a nice tone is also great.
A lot of the guitars I played early on were very, very cheap, and they felt cheap. They were like maybe $150, and the frets weren't cut properly, and you really wanted to play it, you have to get it set up, and the pickups were terrible, and it made it really difficult for me to jump into music because it was uncomfortable to play. Sometimes a first guitar can make or break your love of the instrument, especially if it's really bad. But if it's really good, it can really jumpstart your love. Versatility is a big thing for me when I'm looking for guitars. There are a lot of guitars that are only good at one main thing. So when I look for a guitar, especially one that I'm going to use to perform live, I like to find one that I can play as many different styles of music as possible using that one guitar, especially because I really like to diversify when it comes to what kind of music I play. I have been playing this guitar a lot. I really, really enjoy it. It's really fast. It sounds fantastic. I feel like I can get a lot of different variety out of it, especially with the coil split. I think it'd be a great guitar to perform live with or record with or really do anything with. I really love this guitar, yeah. Wish I could keep it.
I find that students, when they come in, I realize there's risk involved with the investment aspect of it, and parents tend to go with the cheapest thing, which is understandable because I've got, for my kids, karate uniforms, ballet slippers, and all kinds of stuff. But the physicality of the playing, when you're fighting the instrument, makes it even harder. So I always suggest the best playable thing that you can afford at the time. So a good guitar to learn with that inspires a student is one that's easy to play. Very impressed with the quality of this one. The strings are close to the fretboard without rattling, so you get clear tones. It stays in tune well. The fretwork on these are impeccable, especially for the price range. Looks great, it's an awesome shape, great color and array. It's kind of neat that you got a guitar that can pretty much cover shred, blues, classic rock, metal, anything that you want to do, and it's like a one-time purchase. Often parents bring in students with guitars that have high action, which is basically the string height away from the fretboard. So when you're trying to press down on the string and squeeze it, it makes it that much harder to try to get the tone. And you have to like really squeeze, and as a beginner, it's just hard to try to get, and you're also trying to get the intricacy of picking the same note at the same time, so it can be very frustrating. Also, a guitar that stays in tune is very important. The overall feel, like some of the fretwork, sometimes you can feel like the ridges going over here in some of the other guitars, and kind of like kink, 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 kink as you go around, and it feels like it's like scratching your hand, where this is nice and smooth and the action's low. You want to be somewhat comfortable. I mean, you don't have to get a $5,000 guitar or anything, but you know, if you have something like this, I mean, this could last you a long time. You know, so that's the other part too, because if you buy a cheap guitar, then you're gonna go for another one that's intermediate and go for the other, whereas this one is just like a one-time investment. Want to learn and become a guitar player. Some people try it on their own for a while, which is great, and there's YouTube videos and things like that, but I really think that if you have an established teacher to help you fundamentally, it's much more beneficial than having the correct technique like thumb placement, how you hold the pick, and everything else. So if you can afford the lessons and have the time to devote to it, I think you'll get to your goals faster with somebody that can help you. Another piece of advice I would have is, you know, once you get to a point of proficiency and you're playing with people and you're stepping in the professional realm, you do things that you say you're going to do, show up on time, be easy to work with, make sure that your material's prepared, don't give anybody excuses. It's really about desire, dedication, and putting in the time, and you know, you can do it.